We want the best for our kids. And we'll be thinking of, well, how do I do that? How do I be the best dad I can be? And in this video, we're just going to look at 10 ways you can do that. 10 ways that you can support your kids as they grow. 10 ways that you can look after yourself as you do that. The first one is to be present. If you're not connected with your kids, if you don't slow yourself down enough to be present with them in the time that you've got, and you might not have that much time with work restraints and other commitments, but you must be present with them. You must connect with them. And one way of doing that is by slowing down, slowing your thoughts down, creating time for that to happen. Secondly, is be interested in what they like. You know, what makes them tick? What interests do they have? How can you get into their world? And part of that is number 3, which is knowing that they are their own being, knowing that they are unique. And as much as you will be imprinting your values and beliefs on your children, because that's what you think's best, that they are individual and they're going to have their own values and beliefs, even at a very young age. How they see their world will be different to how you see your world. Have fun with your kids. You know, play games as often as you can. Read books to them. You know, and in that, be silly. You know, come out of the seriousness of being an adult, because that's the most, I'd say, the biggest barrier between us and them is, as adults, we become serious. That life is serious and it's full of these challenges. But for kids, it's all about fun and games, and you get to blur those lines, and you get to remember to play and how to be a kid again. Look after yourself, and not just in a physical sense, but this is a mental practice as well. You've got to take time for yourself. And in that is remembering your individual identity. That you're not just a dad, you're still that individual yourself. You're still that human being with all of your feelings and ambitions and interests. So create that space where you can still do that and refuel yourself. Be affectionate with your partner or your wife. The more affectionate and loving you can be towards them, the more that will reflect on your kids, because they will see that as a normal thing to do. Own your mistakes. So one of the challenges of being a dad is disciplining your kids, and in that discipline is sometimes you get it wrong. Sometimes you can get caught up in the stress of a moment, and you might end up shouting at your kids, or you might end up swearing accidentally, or doing something that is when on reflection you think, oh, that was a mistake. But if you can own that mistake and go back to your kids and talk to them and say, look, I got it wrong. I'm a human being. I'm not this perfect sort of godlike person that you will see me as. I am a human being as well. And the key thing is to doing this is to do it straight away. To do it as soon as you can, and don't let it fester. What helps with this is creating healthy boundaries for you and them. So there'll be a focus on creating good routines for them, like a bedtime routine, or making sure that they brush their teeth. But you need to remember that by leading by example is what they see first. So you've got to create your own healthy boundaries around that they can see and observe. And it's not just creating boundaries for them, it's living really what you're trying to teach. Leads me on to the number 9, which is teach them, coach them, mentor them, and lead them. You are all of that for them. You are their role model. You are their first point of reference of what it is to be a human, a grown-up human, and how you learn to deal with challenges of life. And finally, I think this is the most important one of all, which is to learn from them and grow with them. When I was first a dad, I thought as a grown up, I knew most things. What else could I learn? But then when I actually started observing and witnessing my kids grow up and go through all the different phases of their early lives and their young lives, it dawned on me that I need to grow as much as they need to grow. And if we can stay in that space of growth and learning and becoming even more and more self-aware of the world around us and how we are interacting with that, then we'll create that bond and that lasting friendship that we all seek with our kids as they grow up into adults themselves. I hope you found this useful. Hit the subscribe button. I wish you all a good day.